No matter what area of your life that you want to see change in right now, maybe it's about a relationship, maybe it's about abundance or some dream career, no matter what, you will need to shift from the reality you're living in now to the reality where that desired experience lives. So how do you do that? Especially if you feel stuck or life continues to give you the same thing. What can you do to start creating that new reality? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you the key to creating your own reality. Also, I'm going to be showing you something even deeper that I've actually never talked about in a video that I believe holds within it the wisdom that you're going to need to get exactly what it is that your heart desires and that you deserve. So let's get started. So all of us hold within ourselves an image that we feel is true about ourselves. Neville Goddard calls this your self-concept. So everyone watching right now, myself included, different from y'all, we all have a different image of how we see ourselves. Now, sometimes it can be so bizarre because how you see yourself and how somebody else sees you is completely different. So the most important thing we're going to talk about is how you see yourself. So if your current self-image, you see yourself as not enough. You see yourself as unworthy, or maybe no matter how hard you try, no matter how hard you work, there's always lack. This could be money. This could also be emotionally, right? The person's kind of there. They give you breadcrumbs, but not quite that much. Or maybe this has to do with a lot of betrayal, that when you trust somebody, they go and they betray you. So whatever it is that's in this box is going to be your self-image, okay? Well, what's really, really important for you to understand is that things like, okay, you want to experience love. Well, love exists outside of your current self-image, so you can't actually perceive of it. You can only perceive of things that are in this box, which might look like heartbreak, which might look like no money. Okay, so you keep finding it and finding it and finding it and finding it because that's all you can actually see, because you got a filtration system, you have for perceptual bias, but no matter what is going on, these experiences are outside the image you hold about yourself. So you'll literally, and even if this comes in, right, maybe it's about a relationship, somebody comes in and they're emotionally available and they're everything that you actually want, they're very attractive and they're really into you. And you'd be like, oh, I'd totally be into that. Have you ever gotten to a situation where you're like, I don't know why they like me, or I don't know, I feel really uncomfortable. Are they trying to use me? Or you literally push them away because you don't feel good enough for the relationship. That's because you're in this little box here. Now, this box is not because you don't like yourself. This box was constructed because it's how you stayed safe. This box is heavily based on what you went through as a kid. You had a caregiver or caregivers or community, whatever it was, and that person treated you a certain way. Maybe your parent was really hard on you, right? Like you could work really hard and you're like, look what I did. And they're like, well, you didn't do that. And it was never quite good enough. So you could have an idea because of that experience with that one person, and it was a vital experience because this is your primary relationship, your first experience ever with a relationship. And you're like, oh, this person knows more than me because your physical survival depended on it. So they must know more than me. So I must be the one who's not enough. And you keep this in your self-image, not questioning it. And what created a sense of safety, that's how you got your needs met. You kind of adapted and adopted their belief system. It could be, well, if I was worthy, if I was good enough, then my caregiver would have loved me. Then they would have been available. Well, this thing that kept you safe, an image you had of yourself to fit in that early environment, is now creating a prison. It's creating isolation from your true heart's desire, from your true, the person that you were born to be, that you are still. There's a misunderstanding about it. So what you got to understand is that this box is created by beliefs. Okay, so there's something else about beliefs that you're going to really need to understand, because this is going to help you in order to start creating that new reality. So here we have kind of a group of a couple of different things. Right here we kind of have like a map of consciousness. You could always say also too, these are different segments of belief systems. Okay, different levels of consciousness. So in these lower level ones, I have survival, because that's going to be really important for you to understand. And these higher ones, we're going to have creative. And in these lower ones, the survival is also with contracting. And the creative ones are all about expansion. So what I want you to understand is the thing that I drew earlier, that box. So say that's about lack. Oh, look, we have double lacks. But say that's about lack, right? That box, all you can find is more and more lack. Well, what you have to understand is just the same as if you were in New York and there was a 50-floor building. So say this is the 6th floor. You can only see, interact, and actually physically perceive of things that are on the 6th floor. Even though happiness, joy, being content, those are all existent on the higher floors, but you can't see any of that. So this is to share and to help you understand when you have a perceptional bias based on that box, you can't physically perceive of anything else, but you filter out everything other than lack. So it'll continually come in. Also too, Dr. Joe, electromagnetic signature, your thoughts are thinking lack. They're sending out that information to the quantum field. Your feelings are feeling not good enough in lack. So you're drawing experiences to you and you're going to stay on the 6th floor unless you start to change your filtration system, basically meaning you can start perceiving of other things. The key to start creating the reality that you really want is to become aware of what floor you're on. What is your level of consciousness? What are the beliefs you hold to be true about your life, about how people treat you? What is in that box for you? You can also think about early on experiences about why those were formed, because that's going to help you let go of somebody else's opinion, let go of somebody else's lack of emotional capacity or their trauma, and give that back to them. The other thing I want to bring in that I think is very powerful, this is the thing I've never talked about, is the idea that as you start to even just be aware, oh wow, okay, yeah, I have a lot of feelings of lack. I feel like when it comes to having my share, that if I take my share, I'm selfish. Or maybe it's just not there. No matter what, people are going to forget me. I'm going to be left out. So more and more thoughts of that. Okay, as you go back and you can start to re-reason on that original experience saying, oh, you know what? It wasn't that I was asking too much. My environment was too small. My parents could have done the best they could and the most love they had possible, and it didn't meet my needs. And me starting to understand that wasn't because I was asking too much. It was because that environment didn't have that to offer. That doesn't mean that other stuff doesn't exist for me, and I'm actually deserving of that. So as you start to rattle that belief, which is keeping that box contained, you can start thinking about what would it feel like to be content, to have your needs met. And here is the key. As you start to tap into this belief, as you start to feel it, as you start to kind of flirt with it or interact with it or dance with it, you can start tapping into the wisdom that it holds, because it's literally on a different frequency. It's not in survival. Now think about this, the survival state versus creative, and Dr. Joe talks a lot about this. If a lion was chasing you and you're going to do an art project, would you sit there and feel like, yes, this is where I do my best work? Or maybe you're going to write a book or do whatever creative thing that you want, or whatever dream life you're thinking of. Spend time with your loved one that you want to manifest. It's not the best time. You're going to grab your stuff and you're literally, the only thing you're going to be focused on is survival. So these lower level emotions, you're not thinking about, or you don't have space to create. You've got to survive. So as you start letting these go, as you start clearing out your energy here and start thinking about these and tapping into that and energetically feeling it, the big thing here could be meditation to help calm your body, to help regulate your nervous system. You cannot manifest what you want and the change and create the reality you want, something different from now, with a dysregulated, a stress state, a fight or flight, a survival mode nervous system. That's how important it is, because if your body is in, I gotta move, okay, where's the threat, where's the threat, where's the threat? You're not thinking and looking for what's up here. You can't perceive of opportunities or introductions or different things that could lead you to happiness or joy or contentment. You're literally like, I got to get away from chaos. Wow, there's not enough for me here. Oh God, how am I going to make it? So I know that can be overwhelming, and we're not trying to deny or live in delusion, but what you got to say is, okay, I'm going to need to start tapping into wisdom from a higher level of consciousness, because Einstein said you cannot solve the problem from the same level of consciousness that it was created in. So the solution is going to come from a higher level of mind. What does that mean? The you who lives in happiness, the you who has peace, the you who starts to learn how to regulate their nervous system. It's pivotal that you start to understand how important your belief system is, that as you change it, you change what you see. And also, as you change what you see, you open yourself up to all this different wisdom that you haven't had access to. So not only are you able to actually take off some of those walls and allow different energies in and actually expand that self-image of you to include love and abundance and that dream job or whatever it is you're wanting. You being able to tap into those new beliefs, because you're going to see yourself as always deserving and always worthy, and that shit that happened when you were a little kid had nothing to do with you. Maybe become aware of, wow, that actually really did impact me. I actually see how I still relate through other people. Maybe I'm trying to people please over here. Maybe I think that, oh, when I do a really good job, then that person will give me validation, then I'll feel better. Nothing outside of you will be the source of your belief change. Nothing outside of you will change your beliefs. You change your beliefs, and what you see in the world automatically changes. And as you start to tap into those new beliefs, there is so much higher level wisdom. So however overwhelming it feels right now, realize that as you start to let go, you're going to give yourself the ability to receive new insight. Then you can take action on that insight and start to slowly move up these levels. The big thing, remember, is going to be about survival versus creative. How can you start tapping in, even if it's just momentarily, even if it's just before you're going to bed? Start to, oh, I'm going into stress. Okay. How can I just start to regulate my nervous system? There are so many different pages on Instagram. There are so many different YouTube channels that can help teach you different techniques on how to start regulating your nervous system, how to start becoming aware of when you get triggered. And it moves from maybe creative, whoop, we're down here. Okay, what triggered that? I gotta know myself. I gotta be a detective to myself. So the key to creating the reality where your dream experience lives is to change your beliefs, which is gonna change what you see, but it's also gonna start allowing you to tap into higher level wisdom. And that wisdom is easily gonna give you the solutions to solve your current problems and help you understand how to deal with the obstacles that you're dealing with now. Understanding that we filter our world through our belief system. And when we change them, not only do we see something new, but we have access to higher levels of wisdom. Absolutely has changed and continues to change my life. If you're still struggling with understanding how to believe something before you see anything in your outside world, this next video right here is going to break it all down. Thank y'all so much for watching. I love y'all. If you like this video, click that like button. If you haven't done so already, join this community, and I will see you on the next one.